Hey everybody, welcome back again, and today I'm looking at another new figure, another in a series of stylized figures that I've been looking at recently. And this is the newest release from Cang Toys, which is part of their Shuriken Combiner, and this is Breakhorn, which is their take on a very heavily stylized version of a Masterpiece scale Slag. So I reviewed a couple months back, if you recall, their version of Swoop, the Terahal figure, which I was really impressed with, having never had a figure from this company before. And I figured I would go ahead and continue the tradition and go ahead and pick this one up. So I did order this one from ShowZ, got here pretty quickly. I think I got it in about 2 weeks or so. So it just recently became available for order from there. I have not seen it available at any of the domestic retailers yet. I do check periodically. So I was super excited to be able to get this. So as we take a look at it, you can see it's in a very large box, very consistent with the previous two releases, their Swoop and their version of Snarl, which was the first figure in the series that was released. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into this guy. And what I'm going to do is take the cellophane wrapping off first so I can show the boxing without any glare in it. So as we can see, the boxing is really nice, just like the previous releases. It has a almost holographic look to it, but it's got some really cool box art on the front of it. Kind of that color changing as you shift the box around. I mean, the box in of itself is almost a display piece, so it's really nice. But the front obviously has artwork of the figure. The side has some actual product shots, so it's kind of again a holographic print to it. The other side of the box has some additional product shots with bot mode, alt mode, and combined mode. And then the back, we have some more product shots, so really nice looking. And again, I love this holographic print that they've done on this box. I mean, it's just really nice. And so let's go ahead and get the guy open. And then again, packed very similarly to the previous releases, with a lot of foam inserts to protect all of these pieces. So we do get, as with the previous two releases, a nice little litho print that changes when you tilt it, some collector's cards, and the instructions that come with it. And then we take a look at the figure first. Let's go ahead and I'm going to pull out some of these attachments. So I've got some nice accessories here that are very similar looking to what came with Terahal. That very angular looking. I'm sure that these peg into the figure at different places. So there's one here. And then we've got another one. It's the same one. So really nice looking. Nice paint. Nice tempo. Just really nice, very impressive for a figure, especially at this price point. And then we have the figure himself. And it looks like we've got maybe some parts that have come off somewhere. I'm not really sure where this particular piece goes, but it was at the bottom of the box. It doesn't look like it came off of a leg or anything, so I'm going to have to set this aside for later. Oh wow, and then we have another layer of foam with some additional accessories. So we've got the combiner part. So again, nearly identical, actually absolutely identical to the one that came with Terhal, which is the other arm. And then we've got this part here. Not really sure what that is. But again, very nice. Nice paint. Nice plastic. And then we've got a number of these little parts here that just looks like part of his cresting and decoration. Now, if you've seen some of the product shots, you've seen these parts are actually suspended by these little stands here, kind of as if he's shooting them off of his body. So really cool there that it comes with these. So it looks like we've got 4 sets of these supports, and we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 of these parts here that peg into him or can be used independently as if they're suspended in air. So let's go ahead and put the box off to the side, and let's take a look at the figure itself. So the figure is really nice looking. He looks like he's a little bit bigger than the Terhal figure, maybe just a hair. I don't know, we'll take a look at them side by side here in just a few moments. He does have a bit of a backpack. This is looks like the head of Snarl in alt mode, or in Triceratops mode. Let's take a look at the articulation. So head looks like it's on a ball joint. It swivels around. It looks like it can go, yeah, it can go all the way around. It's a little bit impeded by this part of the backpack here, but he can look up, look down, a little bit to the side. Shoulders, let's look at the shoulder articulation. So there's sort of this pauldron piece here, and this actually came undone, so I guess they do that so you don't actually try to force it and end up breaking the pegs. It kind of comes off, but it attaches pretty securely back on. But the pauldrons do move independently of the shoulder, so we've got some nice ratchet in the arms. It could probably go all the way around, but we're a little bit impeded by this shoulder piece here. The arm goes up. Again, it looks like this piece here is on a little ball peg, and if you move it up too quickly without paying attention to what you're doing, it kind of pops it off. But that's okay. I'd rather do that than just outright break. So we do have bicep swivel all the way around. We've got movement at the elbow here, a better than 90-degree bend at the elbow, as you can see. And this elbow joint here is die cast. Looking at the fingers, so the fingers are individually articulated on their own sets of pins. So very similar to the previous figures. It actually looks like it looks very close in terms of the hand pieces they use. There might be a little bit of difference. And then for waist, we've got a little bit of waist swivel here. We've got a lot of little pieces here that kind of just flop around. So I'm looking at this little part right here, and it has actually come off of the figure in there. And not sure. That looks like it just pegs back in. So yeah, you'll want to be careful as you do the waist swivel here. It looks like some of these pieces are a little bit fragile. can't tell if we've got any ab crunch. I don't believe we do. And at the leg, we've got up. And that's about as far as it goes up. That's about as far as it goes back. It's again impeded by this backpack here. And I realize it's kind of difficult to tell, you know, the difference in some of the pieces that we're looking at here. There's just so many chunks of shiny metal. The limbs kind of get lost in everything else. At the knee, we don't have quite a 90-degree bend at the knee. That's as far back as it goes. And then at the ankle, so we do have thigh rotation. At the ankle, we've got some ankle tilt. And the whole foot tilts as well. So the foot tilts, and then we've got some tiltage here, kind of about halfway down the foot, so you can get some nice little poses. The ankles do not rotate independently of that. So again, it's very similar articulation to what we had with the Terhal figure and Stexero, which was their first release. So I will say this figure, I'm not quite, he's impressive to look at, but I'm not quite as impressed yet, at least, as I was with the Terhal figure. And it may be because that was the first Cang Toys purchase that I had, and I was really pleased with the quality of it. This one, I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that some of these pieces have fallen off, and I've got to get them pegged back on there. This piece right here in the abdomen, like I mentioned, if we take a look at that, is loose, and I don't know if that's supposed to be the case. It just clean comes out. It actually looks, if we look at it really closely, it looks like there's some glue in there that just wasn't just didn't dry all the way maybe, and it just popped loose before it had dried. So I'll probably have to just kind of do a little bit of surgery there and pop that back in on my own. And it actually, now that I try to pop it back in there, it doesn't fit as nicely as the other side does. So yeah, that is a little bit disappointing to me. Yeah, I'll have to do some surgery on that part and get it back together. So we do have some other parts that kind of move independently, similar to Terhal. We've got these little side skirts that have a little bit of articulation in them. We've got hip skirts on the front, and then obviously on the back we've got, you know, the backpack with everything. This looks to be part of the combiner mode part of where it probably will peg into their Grimlock when it comes out. But overall, I mean, he's a great looking figure, just like the Terhal was. I mean, the head sculpt here is pretty fantastic. Again, and I said this with the Terhal figure, these are very, to me at least, reminiscent of Gundam. They have a very Gundam look to it. I'm not really, I don't have any interest in Gundam, but I think these figures are actually pretty cool. So let's take a look at him next to the Terhal figure at least. So when we look at the two, he's a lot bulkier than the Terhal. Height-wise, a little bit taller, a little bit thicker, but that's just because of the backpack. But these two figures, they flow together really, really well. So again, a figure I'm really happy to have. I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that some of these pieces have popped off. Hopefully I can get this little side piece in the abdomen cleaned up and glued back on there permanently. But overall, again, I would say it's, you know, for the price, it's a very quality figure. You know, really nice, very solid feeling. The plastic feels good. looking at some of these, you know, trying to kind of figure out where some of these double joints are and how sometimes the pieces look like they're a little bit uneven, but it's just because the double joints aren't bent the same way on each one of the limbs. But yeah, I just a really fantastic looking figure, and I think it's one that I would probably recommend, you know, even if you're not into really stylized figures like I am not. It's really cool, and it's just something different to go on your shelf. And probably what I'll do is eventually, once this whole set is complete, I'll probably put this in combined mode and have it just displayed as, you know, a really impressive looking combiner. I wouldn't necessarily have it as my main Dinobot collection, so that's for, you know, the Gigapower and Fans Toys Dinobot figures that we've got out there. But this is definitely a really cool alternative if you want something a little bit different looking on your shelf. So again, I thank everybody for watching. If you like this content, please like it, please subscribe, and I'll keep doing more. Thanks again for watching.